Hello, everybody, and welcome to my lair. It's not a lair, it's the studio, and we're here at Null FM, the Riddim radio station on the internet. That's the coolest one in the world. We have a very special episode for y'all, and it's also a special takeover by our warlock and wizard. We got Spellthief in the studio today.
Yo, what's good?
Not much. I'm a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's spider webs everywhere, and like I'm hearing footsteps, but like we're the only ones here. But I guess that's okay. So before we hop into this, Spellthief is gonna be doing a takeover of the station, and there's also a pretty nice mix. Before we hop into the interview part of the show, let me just tell you guys about Spellthief. Spellthief is based out in Denver. It's got a pretty decent following. Is also the host of Club Studio Time's Riddim Double XL videos that feature some of the greatest rhythm guys to just, walk out. And it's amazing. Let's get to it. All right. So, Spellthief, tell us about yourself. Who is Spellthief? Where did it all start? Like, what's your story, man?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is Spellthief comes from League of Legends. I was dating this girl back in COVID, and I was in need of a rebrand. I used to go by Clockwise, and I fucking hated it. So I decided to change the name, and she was like, "You know what? Look through my League of Legends account and see if anything sparks any, ideas." And I saw it was like a knife, or I don't play the game myself, but it was some like knife or dagger or something, and it was called Spellthief's Edge. And I was like, "Huh, Spellthief sounds kind of cool." And here we are. So, but I'd say as far as where my journey started, are you like Spellthief or just in general?
Yeah, you could like take us as far back as you want to, like from the very beginning, like as the first dubstep song you heard, or just like the project itself. It's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I remember getting exposed to First of the Year by Skrillex, First of the Year Equinox. I was by one of my buddies in like the Fort Worth area, and I immediately showed Keegan Kraz that song. Because like I said, he was my best homie growing up, and we kind of did a lot of music together. But I found Skrillex First of the Year, and that kind of just took my life over. And then fast forward to 2016, I get my first ever laptop. I downloaded FL Studio, and I started on GarageBand with my mom's MacBook, but that was kind of unserious. But when I really started to do music seriously, I bought my first laptop, got FL Studio, and just started producing on there. Switched over to Ableton in like 2020 when I made the change to Spellthief. Right when COVID happened, it was literally like a week after the shutdown is when I rebranded. But yeah, it's kind of how I got my start. Just kind of grew up in music and really kicked it off in 2016 and changed my name in 2020.
We love that. And I want to ask this: your first version of FL, was it cracked or did you buy it legit?
I actually used the demo and then I bought the 199 version. I have cracked plugins when I was younger, but I hated that you couldn't update it. And I was so tired of the process. I just started buying everything.
True, true, true. Well, cool. That's a very interesting start. So you've been doing this for around 9 years now, almost 10.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Seriously, at least, like trying to be professional anyways.
For sure. And what are some of your inspirations, like whether it be video games, anime, other artists outside of rhythm and EDM itself?
As far as inspiration, I use Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, obviously, for the whole magic aspect. I haven't made like or tried to start the whole like, there's like the whole Star Wars rhythm right now. I want to try to do like Lord of the Rings rhythm, but I just haven't done that yet. But as far as like the magic concepts and stuff, I mean, video games, Elden Ring, Skyrim. Skyrim's huge. I use a lot of inspiration from there. Um, as far as other music outside of EDM, I do listen to a lot of like 60s and 70s rock, and like movie soundtracks. I really, really like Michael Giacchino, Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL is really cool. Oh, and Ludwig van Göransson. He did like The Mandalorian. He did Oppenheimer. He is fucking incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Those are some great gems there. I can
Oh yeah.
I can like feel it now because like I was really before we started this, I was at the gym and I was like, let me just get back into my Spellthief bag. I think I listened to like 80% of this stuff on SoundCloud, and like it was a great like reminder like yeah, Spellthief is dope and like it's cool like seeing like the vision behind there.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Denver. So you're not a Denver native, but you've been in Denver for like how long now?
So I moved from Dallas to Denver. Technically, I moved to Colorado Springs in 2014 with my folks. And then 2019, I had moved out and moved to Denver. So I guess I've been living in Denver for 5 years, almost 6 years now. It was like January 2020 or
Mhm.
December. No, it was excuse me, it was August 2019. That's when I moved to Denver.
Okay, word. So yeah, so you've been there for a while, and
Yep.
you know what they say about Denver. It's like the base capital of the world. One of my questions here is just how is it being in like the Denver scene, both as like from your professional aspect and from your personal aspect? Like, do you feel it in like some type of like as an insider? I guess like you're there. Like, what is that like?
It's given me a lot of cool opportunities, not just playing shows, but being a part of, things like, Club Studio Time. I'm not
Mm,
officially working with them, but I'm really close friends with all the guys who run it, and I've known them since before it even started. It's really cool to be involved with that. Um, but also getting to just hang out and meet new artists because I feel like with Denver being the quote unquote base capital, there's a lot of shows here all the time. So there's a lot of artists coming in and out, and I think it's really cool having that chance and opportunity to just meet new names that I wouldn't normally get to meet.
yeah, for sure. Like, it's really crazy. Like, we see shows get announced here like almost every day. It's like
Yeah.
we have our group chats and it's like we're going to Denver. We're going to Denver.
Yeah.
It's, it's pretty cool. Um. So yeah, that's very cool answer there. So you obviously played shows there and you've gone to shows out there. You've met a lot of cool artists. How does Denver compare both like as a crowd atmosphere wise, like when you yourself are in the crowd, and show wise, like when you're up there on the decks playing, like how does it compare to other cities that you've been to?
You know, it may be, I don't want to say controversial to say, but I think the crowds can go harder if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll go to a show whether I'm playing or just in the crowd myself. I'm like, what are these guys doing? They're just standing around. It's not in every show, I'll say, but just to be completely brutally honest, that's kind of how I see the crowds in Denver. And I can't completely blame them because I'm one to just like I'll be having a great time and I'm just standing there bobbing my leg and that's like it. I don't mosh or headbang or anything. I'll occasionally throw up a finger gun. But it's just I don't know. I think it's just because I've been in the scene for so long that I don't feel the need to go crazy unless the double or the artist playing is just top tier. Then sometimes I'll let loose. But for the most part, I just kind of stand there myself, so I can't completely blame the crowds.
Yeah, for sure, fair enough. And like we're getting older too. Like we can't move like we used
Yeah.
to back in the day. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
so yeah, you brought up the club studio time. I was gonna have some questions about that, but I also wanted to ask you about the uh birth of Bourbon Gang and how that came all about. Like I've been knowing about Bourbon Gang for a few years now. I found you guys through four actually, and
Hell yeah.
then there's a whole bunch of you guys, and then
Yeah.
the all started rolling. So yeah, that can you tell us how that all came about?
Yeah. So initially, the creator, the guy who actually started it, his name is Tyler. He goes by Toggle. Um,
Yes.
He's the guy who did the Bourbon of the Week videos. Crazy motherfucker. Love him to death. But he's the one who started it. He's obsessed with bourbon. He loves, bourbon as any kind of whiskey. And so he wanted to start a collective. And, it was me, four, Jocks, Kindly, and then there's a few others that were kind of like the very original ideas of being like the core members. And then we kind of added everyone else by official announcement. And then we just kind of slowly added more people. But it really just started because Tyler likes bourbon and he wanted to make a collective with his buddies. So we all came together and we're like, fuck yeah. We like the name, we like bourbon. And so it's kind of silly, but here we are.
Oh, I mean, we love it. We love hearing that Bourbon Gang little ad lib.
And that's actually Kindly who recorded that, funny enough, in our big
Oh, okay, okay. I always wondered if like you guys like fibered it or like you found something on the computer to do it, or if it was one of you guys.
we just we got super drunk on bourbon and we were just recording stupid watermarks and tags into the mic and um I didn't really like how I sounded and four is shy on the mic sometimes. So
Mhm.
but Kindly is just a madman. So he just ripped all of them and we're like, these are the best ones. So we just kept those.
Fire, fire, fire. And now let's move on to the Club Studio Times and Riddim Double XL. Obviously that's kind of like a take on like the magazine Double XL and like their Fernie Brim class. How did like the very first one come about? Because that one was like the way that just the TikTok, like, oh my god, me and my homies, like when it first came out, I think we watched it like every day. So we got
Yeah.
tired of it.
No, good question. I mean, I was the first. I was on the very, very first Club Studio Time session ever. I was the
Mhm.
second video released, and mine first. I just did a chop. It was something silly from Oscar Dubs and Bad Trip from Dwarf, and I had no idea that Club Studio Time was going to blow up, but I did this double, threw it on. We threw it on TikTok and Reels, and it got over 100,000 views on both platforms, and just a fuck ton of comments, and someone was like, "Oh, this kind of looks like XXL, but for dubstep or for rhythm,"
Mhm.
whatever they said. And the guys at Club Studio Time and I were talking, we're like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. So that's kind of how it started. And I didn't know, no, there was no, basis or no history behind the concept of Rhythm XXL. So I just figured I'd get all my buddies, me for Kindly, Jocks, and Shishao. And like, let's just start it off with just the homies and kind of see where it goes. And that
Mhm.
blew up, and the rest is history. I mean, super grateful and thankful that it performed the way it did. It was so much fucking fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. We see it, we feel it. Like it's great, and like the fact that like it was also like a full hour compared to like the
Mhm.
regular half hour sets. It's like, oh my god, like yo, it's
First,
Exactly.
like every rhythm at that cell, even the girly pop one, it's just like the perfect thing for a pre. There's no decks, like everybody just throw it on. Everybody's gonna be like, what is that? Who is that?
Exactly.
It's amazing. So shout out y'all for pulling through with that. Um, let's see what else I can ask you. Oh, let's uh let's talk about your show experiences. Do you have any memorable, first of all, like just straight up sets that you've played, and then do you have like any memorable fan interactions that like you keep in?
Yeah.
absolutely. I'd say for like memorable show moments or just shows in general, I'd say there's uh, two really solid shows that I can't stop thinking about. First one, of course, would be the Northern Invasion pre-party I did. My headliner show back in February where I played with Jocks and I think Skybo was on there, a bunch of other really cool individuals. But that shit was the most energy I've ever seen in a crowd ever. I
Mhm.
mean, there was straight up a dude hanging from the fucking rafters on the ceiling at one point. Like, dude, it was fucking absurd. So yeah, shout out Montreal.
Yeah, let's go.
But yes, sir. But I'd say second most memorable show would for sure be playing Wobbleland in February of 24. I was back to back with four actually. We played the Fillmore Auditorium here in Denver. I want to
Mm.
say it's like I'd say probably in the ballpark of 16 to 1800 cap. Now it wasn't completely full the whole time because we were very first. Um, but by the end of it, it was probably 75% full. And that shit was awesome. We had played just before Victim, and then I think Cod Dubs was after him. Or maybe it was OG Nickton. I can't remember. But um, just because of the size and the energy, and it was not my hometown per se, but where I live, the biggest venue I've gotten to play in
Mhm.
my city. So I'd say that one is definitely right up there with Northern Invasion. Yeah.
Awesome.
As far as fan interactions, though, I gotta give a shout out to Seattle. I mean, Seattle has definitely shown me the most love out of any city I've ever played in, even when I'm not playing there. Like I just showed up to Void Dome, and I'm still super small. I'm a very small artist in my like maybe not very small, but I'm not like touring or anything like that. I'm not on any big labels. Um, but I just showed up for Void Dome back in March and like I probably took, like a dozen fan photos and, met a bunch of cool people. And I was like, I'm not even playing and I just feel the love here. So shout out Seattle. Love that city.
Shout out Seattle. Shout out Boy Dome. That was a hell of a good time.
Such a fire show.
um, you just mentioned that you're not like that big or anything, which like I could definitely understand from like from yourself as like an artist perspective. Like, yeah, you have thousands of followers and that, but like it's not like you're constantly touring and like you have like wait, do you have like a strict release schedule with your songs? Or, like you just kind of willy nilly?
No, it depends. I mean, I've had like quote unquote strict release schedules before, but ever since I kind of went independent, I think it was middle of last year, I was focused a lot on my day job, and so the schedule became impossible to keep up with, and I was focused too much on quantity, and now I'm kind of more about quality rather than quantity. So no, I don't really have a strict release schedule. It's just kind of whatever I feel like dropping, whenever.
Nice. Yeah. One of my other questions was also like, how do you manage everything, like personal life, DJ life, and like producer life?
Nearly impossible. Uh, so I'm actually the director of ops for I'm gonna keep up nameless, but I'm the director of ops for a oil and gas recruiting firm. So like I hire like mechanics and engineers and electricians for oil and gas. And so I run the operations the day to day, and I'm usually at the office for it's not too much, but I'd say probably 45 to 48 hours a week, and then it's about an hour commute total a day, 30 there, 30 back, and
Mm.
so it eats up a lot of my time during the week, but, I do my best. I try to anytime I got free time, like if my lady's at work or, I don't have any homies hitting me up to play video games or something like that, I'll try to put all my free time in music and just kind of
Mhm.
working on this brand. So it's day by day. I don't have like a strict music, work schedule, but I just take it day by day. Do my best.
True, true, true. Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta live your life and you gotta do what you gotta do. So
Mhm.
it'd be like that. One question I have here is in regard to like meme tracks and like kind of how they're kind of becoming, I wouldn't say like trendy, but they're kind of on the up and up. And I know you've made a couple yourself and like they're fucking goated. So I just wanted to like have your take on like the meme music and just where the direction of like where rhythm's going in general.
Oh, good question. I mean, as far as meme tracks, yeah, I mean, one of my biggest tunes is Beef, where I sampled, this AI uh fucking Arby's commercial that I found on YouTube. Like I didn't type any of that in or make that. I just found it. There's actually two different videos, first drop, second drop. But I didn't really think anything of it. I wasn't necessarily trying to make a meme track, quote unquote. I just threw the vocals in there because I thought it was funny and wanted to do square four tune and threw it up. But I mean, as far as them getting played out, one thing that crowd goers really like is to be involved. They like to uh, sing along and chant, like Boundless from Infect, for example. It's not a meme song, so
Yeah.
people like to sing along with it, so
Yeah.
even certain vocals, like vocal, not even chops, but vocal samples, I guess. People like to sing that at a show. So I think meme songs being played out live, like it's fun because the crowd gets to be involved. And if they're going to be involved and they're going to be more interactive during your set. So I mean, some of the best moments in my sets were when I play Beef Thief and I fucking hate that song because I've heard it a million times. I made
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 different specials of it, and like by the 4th special, maybe even the 3rd special, I was like, dude, fuck off.
Sorry for laughing.
No, but they're fun. I love them. I mean, I'm still gonna make a few meme songs myself. I mean, shit, my last tune, "Kill Me," which is probably the solo song I'm most proud of by far, is kind of a meme song. It's Meat Canyon. I sampled
Mm.
Meat Canyon on YouTube, and which has a lot of good samples. If anyone's looking, it's fucking a gold mine. But yeah, so I still do them.
I think it cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go. But yeah, dude, I'm still making meme tracks to this day. I don't think anyone should really make a whole brand out of it, if I'm being completely honest. But whatever floats their boat. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. But I think
Mhm.
from a professional standpoint, some things can work, but other things are just like, I get it, so stupid it's funny, but like for a full brand, I don't know. I don't have like any specific examples, but
Yeah. I catch the drift.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask one more out of this list here, and then we're gonna play a little game. So the next question I have, it's related to like your brand, and it goes like this: if you could steal one producer's magic spell, whether it be a sound design trick, a workflow hack, or a creative mindset, whose would it be?
That's a really good question. Um, I mean, first one initially to come to mind is Achios. Achios is by far one of my favorites. Um, her and Muerte. Muerte is insane. I love Aiden to death. I actually got his master class. I think it was Avant Samples. I got that and watched the whole thing, and dude, he is so good at what he does. So I see if I had to pick one or the other, I don't know if I could choose, but I'd say those two.
It's a spell you just cast it twice, where you got it.
Yep, there.
Okay, so yeah, the game I have here, we've been doing it with every interview so far. Is called Keep It or Yeet It. So I'm just gonna say either one singular word, or I'm gonna say a couple words, and you could just tell us if you would keep it or yeet it, or if it's little on the on like the fence. If you're on the fence, you can say on the fence, and if you want to elaborate,
All right.
you can. So first up, I mean, we kind of briefly mentioned this, but the first one is alt accounts / aliases.
Definitely keep it. I love to find, tiny accounts on SoundCloud where like the tunes are just absolute batshit crazy and super high quality, and they've got like 10 followers. I think it's so fun. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of SoundCloud is to find underground people. So keep it.
Next up, we got DJ battles, like the ones that you find on SoundCloud or Instagram.
I would say keep it. Like I think it's really cool to see, especially if it's um different sides of the spectrum versus just two square four rhythm artists, if that makes sense. I think it's kind
Mhm.
of cool to see them go, kind of back and forth or, one or the other. And I think it's cool to just I'm all for, collaborations and trying to take ideas here and ideas there and make something new out of it. So
Oh yeah. Next up, we got wheeling. Just like as a whole, keep it or eat it.
I'm on the fence with that one. I'd say it depends on what the drop is. It also depends on how many during a set. I think one and done, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
two is pushing it if it really calls for it. I also think like if the crowd is like just screaming at you to wheel it, then yeah, go for it. But
Yeah.
I'm sure people have noticed in the Riddim XXL2, they'll notice in this one as well, 0 wheels. We just wanted to keep it
Mhm.
going. So that's why I'm on the fence. Like if it's meant for it, if it's the right time, go for it. But sometimes you just keep it going and keep the energy as high as possible, because sometimes it can deflate, certain types of crowd members and can just deflate the crowd as a whole.
For sure, for sure. Next up, we've got this one's one of my favorites to ask is track your sustains.
I'm gonna keep that one. I will say I think it's not kind of, but it's getting a little overdone. I think if it's done right in the right context, it's fucking sweet.
Mhm.
So I would definitely say keep it. I mean, I play some kind of tractor dub in like every set. So or just any kind of tractor sustain, at least one tune in every set. Crowd, they
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, bro. It literally like it's like crack, man, just gets you going. And for the last one for keep it or eat it is the title of base capital for the city of Denver.
That one, I'm gonna say on the fence for one reason. I think, I've heard people say it's the base capital of the world. I do not agree with that. I think Montreal is the base capital of the world. Um, Denver, held the title of base capital, uh, in the U.S. For a long time, and I'm sure, yeah, it sounds like people still call it that, but it's kind of tough. I've seen, Seattle, for example. I mean, they go absolutely crazy. The Chicago has got a great scene, especially up in Waukegan with like Base Station.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and where Texas, I mean, whether you go to Dallas or Houston, I think Dallas more so though. They've got a good scene too. I wouldn't call Dallas a base capital at all. I would say, in my opinion, but to be between really probably Denver and Seattle, if I'm being honest.
Mhm.
So kind of on the fence of that one.
Hey, fair enough. There's like a lot of good cities to choose from, like, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, the scene's growing and like crowds are just getting better, I guess.
Hopefully, I don't get crucified for that answer.
I don't think you will. I think it's an ongoing discussion that just always gonna remain as such, I guess. Like you gotta go and find out for yourself, everyone
Yeah,
listening.
exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
that basically wraps it up for me for the interview part. Before we just go into your mix, is there anything like you'd like to shout out, or do you have any advice for anyone out there that would like to get their foot in the door and start off?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do both. I mean, shout out to all the Bourbon Gang guys. Four and Kraz, best homies since day one. So yeah, anyone on Bourbon Gang, go check out. As far as advice or tips, uh, it's easier. Like now more than ever, it is easier to learn. There are so many artists on Patreon that is stupid inexpensive. There's a more than there's so much more content on YouTube than there was when I started. And there's a lot of free resources. I mean, even Avant samples, it's not free, you have to pay for it, but like master classes on there. Like there's tons of resources. Just go out and learn. Um, as far as growing as an artist, don't take every booking that you get offered. Make sure that, it's right for your brand and it makes sense for you. You may not get paid at the beginning, but once you start to get, enough traction where you can get paid, make sure you're not losing money. No show is worth losing money on. Um, And as far as music goes, just trial and error. You know, just do whatever. I usually try to separate sound design sessions and actually making and crafting this like song building. That kind of helps. But just release your tunes. You know, don't be afraid and delete them all and be like, oh, this sounds like garbage. I don't want this up anymore. Fucking keep it up. You know, you see the progress. And sometimes you never know. You know, some listener is going to be out there that likes a really old tune of yours. And if you take it down, you know, it could, you know, upset them. And like they're a fan, you know, they want to listen to your stuff. So like I've got tunes on my SoundCloud I'm not super proud of, but I know certain people and a certain amount of individuals love them. And so I leave them up and also to kind of see the progress. And so other people can see my progress as well. But yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Spellthief, thank you so much for being here and casting spells on our little radio station here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Spotify listeners, this concludes the interview portion of the show. I'd like to thank Spellthief for being on the show with us, and we can't wait to hear his mix.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. If you guys want to check out the mix, it's on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/SpellthiefMusic. Hope you guys dig it.
No FM.
Very nice.